Hey, what's up, everybody? Uh, just real quick, man. I just had some on my mind. I was in the hospital getting some things done, and and it was crazy. I ran into a two police officers that were escorting one of the gentlemen out of the detention center. And my point is that uh, it's funny. I'm hesitating because what's going through my mind is crazy. But I gave him the head nod, right? And because to be honest with you, I didn't know whether really to speak to him or not. And it's a sad day when you have an awkward feeling. Like those of y'all know me, man. I'm a real cool, laid back. At least that's what I've become now, and real empathetic, and I'm all about understanding. Y'all know my deal. Um, so I try my hardest to speak, even when I'm in a bad mood or just going through some things mentally. So, but I felt a funny kind of way basically when I saw him. So when our eyes locked, I didn't even look at the first one, but the second one, our eyes locked, and kind of gave him the head nod a little bit, and he was basically unresponsive to me. Now, I guess my point is that, and that could be natural. He could be thinking about something else. He could be trained to be stone faced, even though I haven't seen a lot of that lately. I actually used to work at the detention center back in the day, and there's nothing in the policy that says you can't speak when being spoken to. But here's my point: with everything that's going on right now in society, Dallas, I try not to look at it anymore, other than being educated and aware of what's going on. I really try to not focus on it anymore because it's a lot of negativity, man. I try to kind of digress from it a little bit. Like I said, other than being informative about what's going on, I really try not to feed into it anymore, because now it's becoming the norm. And when it becomes a norm, we really have an issue. So we do got to do better. And as far as I'm speaking for myself, I have to do better and working on positivity with this situation. But sometimes it is what it is, man. And the reality is that it's wild out here. It's crazy. It's I don't know. My wife and I had a conversation back in the day about when it first started happening, and I told her, even if you wanted to look at the any other side of it, or any devil's advocate you want to play with it, or whatever the case is, police officers are trained a certain way. They're trained a certain way. They're trained to handle situations a certain way. Of course, they're human. And when I make this statement, what I mean by that is this is not nowhere excusing any of it. When I make the statement that they're human, meaning that if they have, so for example, if you have police who feel who have a racist bone in their body, they're going to be racist no matter what. If you have a police officer that view minorities of color as a threat, they're going to have that in their mindset no matter what, until they change, until they realize that that's not the right way to be. So police officers, when I make the statement they're human, I'm actually just saying police officers they choose this profession. Some choose it as a way to make money, like anybody else. Some choose it because they really want to be police officers and they grow up being police officers, and some they had no other option, and they were hiring at the time, so they decided to be a police officer. So when you take all of that into the account, we need not be surprised sometimes when we see police officers acting in a certain manner, because once again, and some of these, even though they're considered civil servants, as they say, for some of them it's just a job. It's just a way to feed their family, and they may not live by any type of code of protect and honor. So when you look at it from that vantage point, and it's sad to say, but the reality is that until this changes, and until we start valuing us as humans, those who conduct their manner in a way that is uncivilized, that is unacceptable, and that is straight up wrong. I mean, honestly, For those police officers handling themselves in that situation, it's a sad day until we get that fixed. But with that being said, I go back to the point when I viewed this police officer. I kind of looked at him and he looked at me, and I instantly was thinking maybe he's not speaking to me because I'm a black man and maybe viewing him in a certain way. Maybe I'm not speaking to him because he's a police officer and I can't tell if he feels the same way as other police officers that I may have ran into or had a conversation with, or those who are acting in a manner that is unacceptable, like I talked about. So it's crazy. It's crazy. We got to change our mindset. And I got to start with myself because I got to do better, and changing my mindset. I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that that he didn't speak. And like I said, and that's just me. That's just me with the empathy, man. That's just me with trying to view things in a half glass, half full manner, whatever they say, half glass full manner. That's just me looking at it like that, man. And like I said, but I'm not oblivious to reality. I'm not ignorant to the fact that it's out there. I'm okay. I accepted the fact that he didn't speak. But my whole point about this video that I really had to get off my chest while I was walking back to my car is when it becomes the norm in society that we cannot no longer speak to each other because there is a line that has been drawn. That's the sad part about it. That's what I'm talking about. That's sad. That's, like I said, it's not the fact that I'm ignorant to the fact that it's been going on, it is going to go on, and may continue to go on until we all come together and change our mindset. But now that it's become the norm, that it's expected that we may not speak to one another, or there's a fear, or there's even a second thought of conducting in what we consider humanity. Like, forget about the fact that what's going on and this and that about, shots fired and police murdering minorities of color. Like, forget about all of that. We're talking about straight up humanity of not being able to speak now because there is a line crossed. That's where once again I reiterate that it's gone to another level if you think about it, because like I said, it's been going on, and we are aware of that. But now it's becoming a manner of when you see posts on Facebooks and social media, and like I said, when we just go about our daily lives, now it's coming to where we can't even speak now. Like it's a line of drawn to where humanity is not even conducted in a civilized manner. So anyway, man, we just got to keep it moving. We got to stay encouraged. We got to pray. We got to be safe. We have to educate ourselves on our rules and regulations out here in the streets. We're on our policies and what we can and cannot do. We got to stay out of trouble. We have to know what our rights are when we are stopped, even though there are a lot of people who say, in some cases now it doesn't even matter whether we know our rights, but it does matter. So let's continue to do what we need to do, y'all. Let's continue to get out there and vote to within our city limits and locally. Let's continue to change this process of what we need to do locally. And once again, let's just keep doing what we need to do for our peace of mind, y'all. Peace of mind, man. I know I don't sound too encouraging right now because I'm focused and no matter how much motivation you put out there, and we need it. The reality still is that we got a lot of things to work on, humanitarian wise. So I'm still encouraged. I don't have that excitement in my voice because, like I said, it's a serious issue. So let's just keep going. Let's stay encouraged. Let's stay inspired. Let's help one another. Y'all. Let's help one another. Let's educate one another. Let's stop fighting one another. Okay, let's stop fighting one another. And when I say one another, I'm talking about us, black race. I'm gonna speak to us right now. Let's stop fighting one another, y'all. Let's stop treating each other in a manner that is unacceptable. because what happens is that anybody else who practice racism and believe in prejudice, they view us and they're waiting for us to fight one another because they feel like that's less work. That's less work for them. We're not doing anything but feeding into what they want us to do. So let's stop fighting one another. Let's all come together as one. Let us start living in this peace, y'all. Let us speak to one another. Let us just apologize if we in the wrong. Let us move forward. I mean, whatever we got to do to start just living the right way, man, and just keep that peace within our heart. Let's do so, y'all. Let's do so. All right, Glenn G. Gatling. Much love to y'all. All about understanding. Y'all be safe and have a good day.